Hello guys, nice to see you all. So today we are looking at the markets, various parts of the market, US stocks, global markets, commodities. So right now I've got the S&P 500 on the daily chart. And if you look at this, let me zoom in. Full downward pressure in the market right now. Currently sitting at 3604, 52-week low was at 3585. So yeah, market is under pressure given that the CPI data will be released soon. Let's take a look at what sort of a trend is forming currently. If we look at this, so you can see that it is trying to follow this trend line and it is getting rejected from here. If I try to complete this channel, it's giving us a perfect fit. However, the bad news is it can go down further, especially if the inflation data is not good. 3500 can happen. In my last few videos I already marked up 3500 as an important level. Why? If I zoom in over here in 2020, look at all this action happened around the 3500 mark. So yeah, this, let me show you one more thing. There is something very important. Look at the volume profiles. Look at this was an area of interest. This is the last support 30. Yeah, this is the last support. You can see very less volume is available. Generally when there is less volume available, we see downward movement or quick upward movement. So that is quite possible that we might see a wick, towards the downside, and then we have a pump from here. Of course it all depends on what the inflation data is. And also regarding the inflation data, I just posted a video where I look at some very important factors, of course oil being one of them, industrial metals, these two very important factors. For the month of September, the inflation data of course will be for the month of September. That is fine, that will be okay, but the real problem is in October. Why? Let me just quickly go through it. We'll come back to the S&P. Let me show you this. So you see this point over here, this is the start of the month, and look at what has happened since the start of the month. Look at this 17.5% increase in oil price, and this directly affects the inflation. So yeah, big upside. I mean, markets will be upside with this increase in oil price. Why? Of course means inflation will be high, Fed will remain aggressive, more interest rate increases. So yeah, this is quite possible. Not a good sign at all. I was hoping that we would somewhere around this mark, maybe we will get rejected and then we might see a downward movement. However, the good thing is, of course, the month has not ended. It's just the 10th of October and we are seeing some rejection around the moving averages. So yeah, it is possible that we might continue down at least 80 towards the 85 mark. And the 85 mark is also important on the daily. Why? The 200 moving average. Look at this red line over here. 200 moving average is the 85 mark. So yeah, if it comes down over here, still it will be an increase, but then the increase will not be that big. But looking at this, of course, all the oil retailers, they will start increasing the retail prices for fuel. As you know, OPEC has announced that they will be reducing supply. So this is not good, but this is one of the key factors that will affect inflation. And you can see on the right side, look at this volume profile over here. This is around 82 till 85. This is where we are finding good support. I mean, oil has got good volume over here. So yeah, let's move back towards the S&P 500. So we were talking about this channel. This channel can take us down towards the 3500 mark. In terms of the RSI also, if I look over here, 35. So yeah, of course there is scope available towards the downside. And if we go full 3500, that will give us a bullish divergence also, and maybe from there we might see a pump further. Quickly, let's head over to the Nasdaq also, and it's very similar. Look at this huge gap towards the downside and then full downward pressure into the market. Currently price is making a lower low, but RSI is making higher low. So yeah, bullish divergence is there, but yeah, bullish divergence is only effective when you are at some good support. So once again, we have this channel that can take us to 10,500, and also if I put 10,500 over here, I will show you that is an important level. Look at this. If I go again in 2020, look at all of this action over here. Let me bring this to the middle, sorry. Let's bring this to the middle so that we can zoom in easily and look at this range. Look at all of this action around here. This is all 10,500 till 11,000. This 500 point range is very important. Look at the consolidation here. Saw a pump, then some action around here. Something similar is happening right now, can happen right now. So yeah, then we saw another pump. So let's take a look at what is happening right now. See, only 2 times we have dipped into this range, so there is quite the chance that further dips can happen, and that is from where we will consolidate and we can see a bounce again. And I have mentioned this before also, if we go up to the 12,000 mark, you can see that this head and shoulder pattern will form. Look at this. So this sort of pattern will form, and these are not good for the market. This can turn into a bearish pattern, taking us towards maybe 10,500 will get tested again. So that is quite possible. Looking at some big names, of course, Apple is there. We cannot forget Apple. And look at this. Perfectly trying to follow the channel, testing the bottom part again. It went down over here, 137, and found support again. Why? Look at this. Action around the 137 mark again over here also. So yeah, it found some good support in this region, and now quite the chance we might bounce from here. Earning is coming up soon also. If I look over here, 27 October is the earning for Apple stock. But the key thing is on the daily chart, look at this RSI level below 30. This is or 30. This is the area where we start seeing bounces. We saw this bounce over here, tested the 200 moving average. Let me zoom in over here. This red line is the 200 moving average. We got tested here and then rejected, falling back down. If we see, like, look at this level, 130 level. This is the last support in terms of the current market we have. So 130 can get tested. We cannot ignore this. Also, if you look back again, yeah, look at this RSI around 30, then again around 30, pump over here, again some pump over here. Not this one, this wick over here, pump again. So you can see how this RSI level is important. But look at this also. This is a bull flag pattern actually forming. If for any reason we are able to break this pattern, come out, retest, and then bounce from here, that can actually be very, very good for the market. Why the market? Of course, because Apple is one of the largest stock. Next, let's take a look at Tesla. Again, same bull flag pattern is there, getting rejected from the top part, trying to find some good support around the 215 number. A lot of action happened around here in recent times, in May, June, and then again around this June 2021. So yeah, a lot of action happened around here. If I zoom in, again we are trying to test this level. So very important price area, and also in terms of RSI, currently sitting at 26.9 on the daily chart. This is very important. Look at this. Same thing happened here, pump. We touched over here, again big pump. Even if we go back in 2021, we saw this pump. So yeah, this is an important RSI level. It is possible that soon we might see a reversal in the market. First target can be 250, and of course after that, if we find further pump, then 270, where we will test the top part of the channel. If we are successful in breaking this, coming down to test and then move forward, this can actually be very good, taking us to the 350 mark. So yeah, markets are setting up nicely. There is quite the chance that, of course, inflation has increased a lot, but it will start coming back down, and the Fed will start to pivot soon, maybe in the next 5-6 months, and this is the time to accumulate for the long term. Talking about everything, let's take a look at the gold chart also. Perfect bounce from the 625 level that was discussed before, and look at this. There was some action here, and currently we saw a very, very good bounce. Once again, reason being, look at the RSI. Whenever the RSI falls below 30, around 25, there is where we are seeing the pump. The interesting thing is, if I look over here, look at this. This was the downward channel. This was the downward channel for oil. We broke out of this, and actually we are having a retest of this right now. If market pumps from here, it can turn out to be very good, and we might see 1750 on oil maybe in the next 1 or 2 months. This is quite possible, provided we are able to hold this level and come out of this channel. This is a retest of this channel and then bounce forward. Not only this, look at this, what is happening. Look at this pattern. Inverse head and shoulder pattern is forming, and this can go up towards the upside 1750. That is quite possible. So yeah, keep this in your mind. And if we talk about, of course, Bitcoin, how can we forget Bitcoin? Let's take a look at Bitcoin. What is happening? This area 19,500 level was important, and currently, actually, this is 19,300. So yeah, this is where we are right now. 19,300 getting rejected from the point of control at 20,000. Nothing much happening. If you look at this, look at these candles. Very small candles. Not much action happening. Even this whole area. Look at this, small candles, small candles. Again, we are seeing very small candles. So yeah, not much action happening in terms of Bitcoin itself. However, if we go to the total market cap, and I will show you this in the 4-hour chart. Let me show you what is happening. Look at this channel. This is a bear flag channel that had formed. Look at this and then this. This is a bear flag channel that has formed on the total market cap. At this point, I had mentioned that we are entering a zone where we will get rejected, and look at this, we have fallen below. Actually, we were somewhere around here when I said that 930 will happen, and then this is what got tested and rejection from here. Now again, if I zoom in, we are testing the bottom part of the channel. And in terms of the RSI, look at this, price is making lower low. RSI is almost flat. So yeah, some sort of bullish divergence is forming, which means we can see short term pump towards the green line, which is around 910 billion right now. So that will represent a small bump, maybe 19,500 for Bitcoin, but we have to be careful of something of this sort. We come down out of this channel towards the downside, come back up to retest and then reject, going back toward 850 billion mark, and this can be detrimental for the market. This would mean that we will be back into the 18,000 area for Bitcoin. So keep this in your mind, and then let's go back to the daily chart. So yeah, the key thing I see for Bitcoin is actually the amount of movement is very less. Look again, all these candles are very small. So yeah, not much happening for Bitcoin. Let's take a look for Ethereum. This was our previous resistance from June, this area. Of course, this is trying to act as a support currently. However, the problem is we are reaching this downward channel again. So yeah, if news doesn't come out good, there can be a drop towards the downside, maybe again below 1000 we will see Ethereum. So that is quite possible. And if we look at the 4-hour chart, see, look at this rejection over here, rejection from the 50 moving average, trying to hold 1275, 1250, this area in the short term. But in terms of RSI, there is scope towards the downside. 40 is the daily RSI right now, likes to go below 30, maybe 25, that is the area it likes to go. So quite possible, yes, further correction is possible. Another important factor to consider is the HYG, also known as high yield corporate bonds. This corresponds to the market. If I try to put up the S&P next to this, let's put the S&P, look at this, how closely it follows the S&P. This is the reason, one of the reasons why we are getting rejected. And again, this had fallen below 30, around the 25 mark, and from that is from where we bounced. But currently RSI is sitting at 36.5, so further drop is quite possible on this. The important thing on this is if I go towards the monthly, look at this. Very rarely we see these levels. Last time was May 2020, and then 2009, another one was 2016. So very rarely we see this level on the HYG below 70 or the 70 mark, and currently monthly RSI is sitting at 29.5, and that is from where we like to see bounces. So yeah, maybe in the short term we will see a further drop, another, I don't know, 4-5% drop can happen towards the 67-68 mark. From there we might see a pump back up. So quite a lot of factors are telling us that there might be a pivot soon in the market. Of course, we are looking at monthly or the weekly chart, so it takes time, maybe 3 or 4 months, but yeah, the factors are there that are telling us that pivot might happen soon. And let's take a look at the dollar index also. Very bullish. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, look at this, huge drop and then coming back up. 115 of course can get retested, and if inflation data is not good and the Fed remains aggressive, 120 is not that far away. And of course, if this goes 120, that will not be good at all for the market. So we have to keep this in our mind. It is perfectly following this trend line since the beginning of the year. So some consolidation can happen over here until the point we reach this bottom part and then try to bounce from here. That is quite possible. But until then, as long as we are above this, there is strong upward momentum that is there for the dollar index. So not a good sign for the market. Of course, dollar index being aggressive means that the markets will be very negative. Looking at the silver chart on the daily, saw a good pump from here and went up till 21, got rejected at the 100 moving average. Now seeing some correction in the market. Quite possible we might see 18.6, if not then 18. So this area, this range can get tested again, 18.5 till 18. So keep that in your mind. Let's take a look at the 2-year yield also. Very similar to the dollar index. Dropped and then pumping again. Of course, we saw a huge pump. RSI went up to 85, and that's a very strong move for the 2-year yields. And that is the point where we start seeing some pivot. Look at this one over here. Even if I go over here in 2020, beginning of 2022, we saw some sort of capitulation. So now also it is quite possible we might see a little bit increase and then some capitulation happen over here. But the key thing is that the next key event is on Wednesday, which is the inflation. Let's take a look at inflation. Where is it? Look at this monthly inflation, currently sitting at 8.3, very high RSI. So as we just saw that, yeah, this might the inflation might remain roughly flat at this announcement, but the next one might be an increase. Of course, oil and the industrial metals are increasing, so there might be an increase in the next month, which might not be good for the markets at all. So this whole year is actually just not a very good story, but from next year, hopefully, the market will show some nice moves, some positive moves. By that time, inflation would be coming down. Even if prices remain high, for example, if oil remains around 90, 95, as the months are passing, due to the mathematics of it, it will start reducing, because you're taking a percentage from the last 12 months of the last month. So it will start coming down, which is good for the market, and hopefully the Fed will start to pivot that time. If you try to look at the Fed rate, where are you? I'm not sure why is it not showing right now. Fed rate. This one, sorry. Let's go to the daily chart. This represents the number of stocks that are above 50 moving average in the US market. Look at this double bottom that happened, and hence we saw this pump again. Market showing negative sentiment, then we are coming down to test this, and hopefully from here we will buy. We will see a good pump towards the 30-40 mark. This basically means currently sitting at 10.9. So 10.9% of the stocks are above the 50 moving average. All 90% are below 50 moving average. So yeah, a lot of bearish sentiment in the market currently. Dow Jones, if you look at Dow Jones, once again trying to come down towards the 28,800 mark, do a retest and create a double bottom, and then hopefully bounce from there. So yeah guys, this was just a quick look around the global markets, what is happening. We're trying to make sense of what is happening and how can we place trades, take advantage of this situation and remain profitable. Hope you like this video. Thank you for